Hello, this is Mr. Yun, and today we're going to be learning about how to translate math into English to math and math to English. And the key phrase for today is that math is a language that can be used to translate English and other languages. And oftentimes, when you actually translate English or other languages into math, it actually turns out to be shorter. So, since we're focusing on the language aspect of math, we will be looking at a lot of different definitions. Um, and of all the expressions in math, we're going to focus on 6 vocabularies. So here are first 4, and they're in the chart. So there's plus, minus, times, and divide. So plus sign can be represented as plus, add, sum of, total, more than, or increased by. And then minus sign can be translated to minus, subtract, fewer, decreased by, less than, or difference between. And times can be obviously be translated to times, multiplied, product, or double, which would mean times by 2 specifically, and triple, which would mean times by 3. And the last word, of. And divide by is obviously can be translated to divided by, split evenly, or quotient of. So of all these definitions, I would like to emphasize a few, which is difference between, which I will explain in a little more detail, and of, and product, and quotient. So the word product and quotient could be new to some of you. So it simply means that product simply means that the answer of multiplication. So the product of 2 and 3 just simply means 2 times 3. And the quotient is simply the answer to division question, which would simply, so the quotient of 6 and 2 is 6 divided by 2. And here is a word that is used very often when you're translating English to math or sentences to math, which is of, and not all the time, but 90% of the time, depending on the context, of means multiply. I would first like to apologize. I meant less than, not the difference between, when I said I want to emphasize. So let's look at how to use the word less than in math. So if the question asks you what is 3 less than 7, it's very easy to think that just, less than means minus, so I just have to write 3 minus 7. But 3 less than 7, if you actually think about it, we know that 3 less than 7 is equal to 4. And 3 minus 7 would give us minus 4, not 4. So then 3 less than 7 is actually written as 7 minus 3, which will then of course be 4. So when you're using less than, you have to make sure that you put reverse the order of numbers from how it's written. And here are 2 more words that we're going to be looking at before we get to some examples. So the first one is the equal sign. Equal sign, of course, can be translated to equals, and it's also the same as. And another one that is actually used very often is the word is. And for x, and this x is in general the variable, usually it's the goal of the question. And it's also very often translated as what, the word what, or the number. And so now that we have learned how to translate words, let's try to translate a full sentence into a mathematical statement. So over here, I have a question that says, an expression that says a number plus 3 is 7. Now, let's try to translate this into math. So we have just learned that a number can be translated as x, and then plus is plus, and then 3 is 3, and then is meant equals. So, and then 7. So, a number plus 3 is 7 can simply be translated to x plus 3 is equal to 7. So, now that was a fairly simple example. So let's try to look at something a little longer. So over here, I have a sentence, 5 less than triple the number is 10 more than double the number. So let's try to translate one by one. So I know that less than over here means minus, triple means times 3, and the number means x, and is equals to, and more than is plus, double is times 2, and the number is x. So now I know that what individual words mean. But when we're trying to translate this into sentence, we actually have to think about which parts, to think about how we actually say it when we read the sentence. So let's try to read the sentence again and see which parts are together. So over here, I have 5 less than triple the number. So this triple here is an adjective, as in the word that describes the number. So then triple the number is going to be 3 times x, which will be 3x. Then, and again, so I have 5 less than triple the number. And again, when we're using the word less than, we have to make sure that we flip the order. So then 5 less than triple the number will get translated as 3x minus 5. And then is, we would take a pause after we say the word is, and then we do again 10 more than double the number. So 10 more, so 10 plus double the number, which is 2 times x, which is simply 2x. So let's sum up today's lesson. So when you're trying to translate a sentence to math, first step is you have to translate individual words to math. And second is read the statement out loud and see where you paused to decide which words are together. And last step is to put them together in the right order. That's it for today, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.